And lastly, we'll have time for any questions that come through the chat, any subjects that we may want to touch on if we have additional time. So I'm going to kick it off with the first slide here, the history. So MetaLocator, the interface builder, was released back in 2019. It was a strategy to move forward from the list of ever-growing settings. You guys have probably seen the legacy settings look like this. It's somewhat of a drop-down list, and there are hundreds and hundreds of settings under these lists. Going into the interface builder, it is sectioned into different menus. Those menus are based on the user experience, the elements of the interface. So the first one is styles and colors. We have results, so how things appear, the different fields and where to place them. And then the menus then have limited settings that are more optimized. And some of them have been combined. So there are actually a lot less settings in the interface builder, but they're better to be utilized. The new mobile first framework. So this means that the interface builder is set up to work on mobile devices first. As we see that a lot of the traffic of our newer customers, as well as some of even the older ones, a lot more people are using the internet on their phones. It's one of the most viewed ways of viewing a map is through the mobile device. So we wanted to make sure that the interface builder first considers mobile devices and then things like tablets and desktop and laptop devices. It works based on Bootstrap, which has 100 different coding elements that size themselves and adjust themselves for the different devices. It's very flexible. So this is completely free for all customers to use the interface builder. It's free to use these upgrade techniques that I'm going to show you today. And also free to use support. If you have a question, you want to update this one thing in your interface, you can reach out to support and we'll point you in the right direction to make that change that you want to make. So no cost to you, just maybe some time to implement this on your side. So what is in the new interface builder? It is an interactive, what you see is what you get interface. So as you make changes on this left-hand side of the screen, it will automatically update on the right-hand side. And we'll see that as I go through those demos, that any changes that I make, it will take a few seconds and then we'll see it reflected. So that's how it's going to look on your site. You can also do different previews while you're in the interface builder. So I can see what it's going to look like on tablet, on phone, on laptop, all in one. So I don't have to wait, save it, and go into a different screen or view it on my website. So that's good. You can click, drag, and drop within the locator and see those changes automatically. This avoids programming. So we really wanted to make this as flexible as possible to avoid any CSS needed. We can avoid HTML. So before, when you wanted to add a new field to the search form, you may have to add HTML and CSS to style it and move it. With this, it's a simple button. You want to add a field, you add a field, and it drops right into your search form. And then you can also use Bootstrap, which is a pretty easier coding language, as I think it is. And there's sections of code that you can just add a margin to things or add things really simply, and we will go over that as well in the demo. There's fewer settings. So the interface builder eliminated over 350 settings by combining them, removing the ones that were less utilized, making it more sensible and easier to use while also avoiding clutter for you. So the benefits of upgrading. It's going to improve your user experience. Again, on those mobile devices, the legacy interfaces just don't work as well. The new interface builder is set up for mobile devices, layouts, all the different screen sizes that people could be using your interface on. It also is a good user experience for you. in building and managing your interface, as all of our support articles are now referencing the interface builder. So you may have seen, if you want to change something in your legacy interface today, and you look up our support articles, it may not show pictures or exact ways of navigating to that setting, because it's now all in the interface builder because it has been out for quite a few years at this point. It has improved performance. So newer locators are much faster compared to legacy locators. Less settings, improved speed. Also, the maps and search fields are just coded in a way that is to enhance speed. And we will always be updating this. And those updates to speed and also the user experience are going to be in the interface builder. So if you have a legacy interface, you may be missing these updates that are going to happen and increase the speed and performance of the interfaces, as we're no longer doing that for the legacy interface. Access to new features. Any and all new features that are in MetaLocator get added to the interface builder. So if there are new features, they're not going to be in the legacy interface. It's code free. You can do everything that I'm going to do today without any HTML or CSS coding on your part. So you don't need to hire an extra individual to make sure that it's exactly your brand standard. You can get it extremely close to your brand standard and make it look and feel like it's supposed to be on your site without coding knowledge. It's easier to manage. Like I said, those support articles are really for the interface builder at this point. If you reach out to support, we'll have an easier time showing you exactly what setting you need to change, as there are 300 less settings. Improved accessibility. So off the shelf, our templates in the interface builder are WCAG compliant. So these are the colors, the way that you interact with dropdowns, the way that you can tab through the interface and the results. Those are all compliant with WCAG accessibility compliance. First-party analytics. The interface builder uses first-party analytics, where the older legacy builder uses third-party cookies, which are no longer the standard for different browsers. So on Firefox and Chrome, especially, Safari as well, those third-party analytics are beginning to be blocked. So the first-party analytics helps draw the clicks and the views from the home page itself. So we aren't setting any cookies for the users. This is also important if you have any locators outside of the US, in Europe as well. A lot of them are blocking third-party cookies, which means you're going to have lower analytics if you're using a legacy interface. It also works well with GA4, which is the new Google Analytics standard. By default, the interface builder can have that code and send any clicks or calls or interactions to GA4. HIPAA compliance. We got our HIPAA compliance, I believe, last year. And that is a feature that is available in the interface builder, not the legacy interface. So if you are concerned about leads and collecting personal information, we can have HIPAA compliance and a zero storage messaging anonymization tool, but only in the interface builder at this point. Again, if you have any questions or any topics or features that you want covered, you can always add them in chat, and we can either talk about them at the end of this call or in future webinars. So we have the new features, just some. We have had probably 100 new features since the interface builder came out, added and updated and optimized. These are just a couple that we decided to highlight. Lead optimization. So this is how to track the customer's inquiries, measure the response time, and you can sort the results from your locator based on that lead response. So the location gets a lead in their email, and they click it to respond. We can see how often that lead was sitting there, if there's a bounce back request. And then if they respond to that lead in a decent time, we collect those responses and times and average them and then sort the list, or you can sort the list based on that. So people that are more responsive, that are better to communicating with the customers, can be promoted in your results based on that customer interaction. We also have, I don't know if it's out yet, but another lead kind of super optimization tool that is going to allow us to understand and send requests to both the user and say, how was this interaction? Did it go well? Were you satisfied? As well as sending it to the dealer themselves and asking questions such as, how much revenue did you get from this lead? Was this lead real, or was it useful for you as a dealer? And that will help you even narrow down those leads, those requests, and also the dealers, and maybe prioritize based on a budget. So these dealers can handle leads with large budgets, and these dealers maybe only handle small budget leads. So that's coming soon. We have new layouts and controls. So these are only in the interface builder at the time. A details flyout. So that is where the details pane, that when you click, I want to see more details, it actually goes to the left or to the right of the results card. So it doesn't go on top of it. Kind of gives you more ease to compare two results because you can quickly click through the details and see the results still on the map. We'll see that in one of our examples. The map list toggle for mobile. So this is when you're on a mobile device and you are only seeing a map, and you can zoom in and out, and then you go to a list and it's just a list of results. This saves a lot of screen space on mobile and also allows for greater functionality. Unified share. So before in the legacy, you could just share to your email, I believe. But with unified share, you can share it to Facebook, you can share your result to LinkedIn, you can send it to your phone. So if you're on desktop, you can text it to yourself. There's a QR code. So we'll look at that as well in our demos. We also have inline reviews. So this is like a review status that can be shown on the results card, as well as in the details. You could put an actual list of like the top 5 results for that dealer. We have interstitial search, which is a search that is provided before we show the user results or a map. There's also the online tab functionality, which you can show brick and mortar stores with a results list and a map. And then on the second tab will be just online results, so no map. And you can edit how those look between the 2 tabs. We have branded maps. So you may have seen the LinkedIn posts that we shared, that you can now add different colors to the map itself, making the map branded to your locator and your brand. Changing the land, the water, the transportation colors. We'll also be updating that in one of our demos. New templates. So we have interface templates that are ready to use for all based on the interface builder. So that's when you click new, all of those templates are interface builder compatible and ready to use. We have call tracking. So this is click to view. This is an analytics event where it hides partially the phone number. So you can select it to see the full phone number. And this helps on desktop. When users see a full phone number, they can just type it on their phone and pick up and call. And that kind of doesn't allow for that tracking. We don't know who called, what phone number, where they got that phone number, etc. But with click to view, we can see that they clicked to view the whole phone, which can lead to an analytics event. We can also leverage dynamic phone number insertion. So this collects the phone number that you have stored for that location, and we switch it up with one of our phone numbers. And then we can track if that phone number was actually called, how long the call lasted for, etc. So there's just a couple call tracking options in the interface builder. We also have user templates. So this is more for, I believe, enterprise clients, or I believe it's platinum and above, can create their own templates. So let's say we have brand standards that we want locked down, but we want to use this template over and over again to create a couple different interfaces for different websites, but we want them all to be linked together. So you have the ability to create your own template, and then utilize that template just like the MetaLocator templates. We have first-party GA analytics. I talked about a bit about this earlier. Tracks directly from the host page. It's an easy installation. We have support articles on that as well. And then data anonymization, which is the leverage of messaging tools to avoid personal information storage and disclosure. So once we get a lead, we don't hold on to it, we anonymize it, or we could delete it after a few days, so that you understand that that lead was sent, who it was sent to, but any of that personal information is anonymized. All right, now we're going to get into the demos and how to move forward from your legacy interfaces into the new interface builder. So we're going to first do, based on the demo page in MetaLocator, we're going to brandify that interface. We're going to filter it a little bit, and show you what updates you can make to the interface builder. So I just have in this new tab, the demos page in MetaLocator, metalocator.com/demos. You can also find it up here in our main navigation. I'm going to go ahead and select retail, and I see that I like this numbered markers store example. You can see that we have multiple different options, and if I unselect this, if I'm a medical field, I can see the medical results. But I like this one, so I'm going to go ahead and view the demo. In this demo page, it'll give you a little bit more information, what features are being used. And then this is actually the interface. So you can test it out, and see how you like it first before deciding that you want to use it. So I'm going to click customize. And because I'm already logged in, it's going to automatically use this template and open it in my account. So this is the interface builder. It's going to take a couple seconds to load this new interface. And I'm going to go ahead and use sample data. This just will make it so that we have a bunch of different data to kind of change the look and feel of the interface. So first off, we get set in the styles and color tab. This is a basic settings. And this is where you land first to brandify your interface. I'm going to go ahead and change the primary color, and we can see it automatically is going to update on the right side. So that purple went from a blue. You can see the markers changed. Map markers, links also updated to a different color. I'm going to change the secondary color to more of a gray. And see, as I'm changing these colors, it's changing on the right-hand side so I can quickly see those differences. Also, this is where it may have originally been WCAG compliant, and I can quickly make it not compliant by changing the colors. The interactability of me pressing tab is not going to change, but by changing colors, you can break it away from being accessible to people with eyesight disabilities. So a font, we have it as a default font. You can update. We have some Google fonts here as well, long list. I'm going to pick Georgia. You can change the font size if you want to increase the entire font structure. Font weight. We have the border radius. So this is for buttons and also like the edge just of different settings in the interface builder. It's at a default, which I believe is like 0.5. I'm going to put it to 1. So I'm going to create a super bubbly interface. We can see that it changed the location here as well as the button here. Just became more rounded. The results cards became more rounded, and the map pop-up became more rounded. So 3 sections that you may hear me say a couple times or a support individual say is the results card, the search form, the map pop-up, and the details card. So the results is this results list here. It's where your locations appear in a list. Map pop-up, so when you select a map marker, this is what we refer to as the map pop-up. Details pane is something that you can select view details, and in the flyout option, it will fly out here or above the results here. And then this is the search form in this locator. Often at the top, sometimes above the results, as it is in this example. I'm also going to show you what is under the fold. So these are kind of common, easy to change colors and settings. We like to keep the most common, the easiest above this, more styles and colors. This is just for ease of use, but you can always go into these and see all the different options. So the warning colors, info colors, we can see a little bit of CSS was added because of the demo had it already populated. So if you have an account that is lower than Pro, you won't be able to access this CSS, but it's going to be there from the demo. I'm going to change the background color. It's kind of a light blue right now. I'm going to go ahead and change it to a white. So we got that nice blue and white setup going for us. So this is styles and colors. Really easy to use, fun to play around in. This is the search form settings. So again, that search form is at the top here. And this is where we see the list. These are different sections of the search form. So we have advanced, we have basic, we have a header. That's the interstitial search form. And I'm going to add a category list. So what I just did there is add field. This shows you the special fields, system fields, and any user fields. So if I had specific, like a color field that I wanted people to be able to select a dropdown from, you could add it there. I'm going to go ahead and add a category. So it's going to be a category dropdown. It adds it right at the top here. So if I don't like where it is, I wanted it on the right-hand side, I can go ahead and click and drag and drop this on the other side of location. It updates. Now I have the location here, and I have my category list here. I want it to have a label. So there's additional settings for each of these fields when you click on them. It's currently a drop-down. There's a bunch of these settings. These are all for categories. And then we have a label here, and I'm just going to type in location type. And we'll see that populate above. You can also use language constants here, and that's kind of for translating your interface to different languages. And that can be done, it would typically look like this. And so this would be picked up as something that needs to be translated. And if you had this in your language file, it would update to whatever the associated language was. So if we are English, it would take the English version of this constant and so forth. Bunch of different settings. If you wanted to require something, there's a required checkbox. Styles. This is that bootstrap styling. I'll show it in a different setting in the future, but this is where you can change things to a button. You can change the color of the text, the way it's displayed, effects, a shadow on it, etc. There's a bunch of different options in here that, again, take no coding, but change the look and feel of this field. I'm also going to show you how to remove a field. So let's say I want a radius. We can see what's recommended So we'll put these at the top of the list. We have a location, we have keyword, we have unified search. So this is for enterprise plans. It is a combination of keyword and location. So you can really search anything in unified search. But I'm going to go ahead and add a radius to my search form. You can see that it's populated. We can see that everything updates here, moves around. And let's say, oh, I didn't actually want to do that. When I hover over this, you'll see a little trash can icon, and I can just remove it. It'll ask you, are you sure? I can select yes, and it will go away. Also in the search form, we have measures in kilometers or miles. This is mainly for the map, but this is dynamic based on where the user is. So I'm in the United States right now, so we use miles. If we had distance, or the distance on the map is going to show in miles. If I was in Europe or Canada or anywhere that uses kilometers, it would by default change that for me as a user. This is again an interface builder setting and is not in the legacy interface. So it's more dynamic for users from around the world. Default distance. This is how far the search searches. So right now it's by default set at 200 miles. We also have more search form settings. These again are more for exactly fine tuning how your interface works. So it's good to look at these. You can hover over them to see a quick explanation of what they do, as well as if you're looking for a specific, like I want these to be multi-select. I don't want to just be able to select one. Support can point you exactly to the right setting. In this case, it would be under categories, and there's a multi-select checkbox here. It's going to update. And now I'm going to be able to select multiple of these and search both of them at the same time with an OR category logic. We're going to move on to results. So this is the search form setting, and now we're going to update our results lists, as well as you'll see when you hover over these edits, you can see results list. This is that details, which we currently don't have set up in this interface. And then the map pop-up, which when I hover over, it hovers the map markers. It's currently set up to show nearest. So it's going to show the nearest results to me. Auto find search radius. So this is that first search that is performed. So you can change this so that the first search searches 2,000 miles, and then the default is going to be what happens when the user searches. So if I were to search here, the auto finder is 2,000, I see a bunch of locations, and then the default was 200. When I perform a search, it's going to kind of zoom in to a closer radius. We have live search. So this is where if I selected things in the drop downs here, it would automatically update my results list for me. Number of results per page. So we can see the pagination at the bottom here. It says showing 1 of 10. We can update that to 20. It is also going to warn me because I made quite a few changes without saving. So I can go up here and click save. If you click save and close, it's just going to go back to the normal interfaces menu. Save will keep you inside the interface. Just going to save all those settings that I did. And then maximum number of pages. This is the amount of pagination that can be shown at the bottom here. So if I wanted only 5 to show maximum, I feel like 7 was too much, then only 5 is going to be displayed here. We have that no results message here. So no results for your search. We can say, please try again. So this is the message that is going to pop up instead of the results here. So I don't know if I can. Loading. Yeah, I don't have live search on, so I can't show that to you at this second. But let's go ahead and update some of these result cards here. So again, another list of settings similar to the search form. We have different containers. We have a title container, subtitle. This result number is in the left. We have the body, which is everything else. And we can add our fields here. So you can add system fields, custom fields that you have in your data can all be added here. I'm going to go ahead and add the recommended field distance. I'm going to go again and add the field link to details. So this will allow us to open that details view. And then one more time, and I'm going to add unified share so that we can see that feature play out. So we can see they kind of all just stacked up at the top here. And I want the distance to be under the title. I want the link button to be at the very bottom. Let's say I don't like how share looks. I don't want it to have a label. I clicked into share here and it opens the settings for unified share. We can see that it's highlighted on the right. And I'm going to go ahead and remove share. So now it's just going to be an icon. I actually don't want that icon. So I'm going to go down. There's styles and icon here. We have a library of, I believe they're called fav icons. So when I selected this little folder button, we can see all the different icons I can choose from. I'm going to look up share and I'm going to select this one. Once I select that icon, you can see that it updated here. And now I'm going to do a little bit of coding, just a little bit, and I'm going to float it to the right. And we can see that it updated over here. And I don't want it to just look like an icon. I want it to look more like a button. So also in this list, we have button options. We can see button, and these are the different colors. So this is going to be the background color of our button. I'm going to do primary outline button. So this is going to use the primary color to outline our icon in a nice button that I can then use to open unified share. This is what I said earlier. You can share this locations information with your phone, typing in your phone number here. We have a bunch of different options for country code. You can copy the link and share it. I could grab my phone and scan the QR code to get the link to the location as well, and then also share it via Facebook, X, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and then this is by email. You can also remove these. So let's say I don't want to share with Pinterest. I can just click the X, and now when I open share, Pinterest is no longer an option down here. Let's see what else. So I kind of like the look of this result card. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the details. So when I select details, we can see that the details pane opens up right over our results card. This is good if you have a lot of stuff on your details pane, so you really want the user to read it before closing out. But let's say I wanted that flyout that we said in the previous slides. That is going to be under layout settings. And we can see there's a bunch of different settings to show the map, to show the list, etc. And we're actually going to go down to details position and choose flyout. So now we have a different functionality just by a click of a button. I'm going to click details and boom, it goes to the right. So now I can click the details of different results and easily compare them without really changing the list or the search over here. You can also see using a result number can be really nice if you have a lot of results because I can easily see on the map which results correlate with which number. So I can see 3 is right here, 2 and 1 right there. To edit these, so we have the details and the map pop-up, we were in the list view editing the results card. But let's say I want to edit the map pop-up. So this is the map pop-up over here. I no longer want the email from this. That's down in the links container. And I can, again, with that trash icon, remove the email. You can also remove unified share. And now we can see that our map pop-up is a lot more simplified. Now this can be good for mobile views. So if we go to mobile, this preview on the right-hand side, currently on mobile, it opens the details pane. But you can change that with the list map toggle to have more space for your map. And then you can open the map pop-up on mobile. So this is the details, or this is the locator if I was on a phone. You can change it to a tablet preview right here. And then again to desktop. And we can see that all of those look pretty nice. Easy to update too, if you want to make edits to how it behaves on mobile as well. Let's say that the map doesn't quite look how I want it to look branded wise. Let's go into map settings and update some colors. In map settings, you can change the entire view of the map. We can go to satellite. There's a hybrid, a terrain. Road map is our most common. Different map styles. These will kind of brand the entire map. So this is the dark map. And then we have different vendors. You can use Google Maps here. Lots of different options. Changing the marker icon from primary to secondary. So I don't want it blue, I want it that gray. So now we can see that the map markers are gray. I'm actually going to change that back. And then again, if you can't find the setting here in the most popular settings, it may just be under more map features settings. And here we can see the watercolor, the land cover, global land use. Those are all different sections of the map that can be colored. So I'm going to go ahead and add. This is called a hexacolor. It's very common on the internet. So I'm going to change a couple of these settings just so we can see what it's going to look like. So I wanted it very white and blue, a little bit of green on it. So now those roads really pop out of the map. You can also change the transportation color to like a gray if we wanted it to be super stylized. So those are quick changes to the map. I'm going to go ahead and save again because I've made quite a few changes. And we're going to make sure that only US results appear in this locator. So this is the filter and sort settings here on the left-hand side. And you may have a lot of filter and sort settings within your legacy interface, which is where later the compare method is going to be great. Base TLD is in the United States. That's fine. I'm going to add a field filter. Or let's do TLD, which is the top level domain. And for United States, it's US. So this is only going to show results that are that contain the TLD US. So only US results. I could try searching for Canada and it would say no results. So that is kind of how to brand an interface based on a demo. We have a bunch of different settings again. Behavior, right now results clip opens the map marker. We can change that, the marker clip. There's also on mobile, like I said, it opens the details view. We could make it open the map pop-up. Layout settings, a bunch of different, you can change the entire layout of the interface with these settings. Leads, crowdsourcing, the language, those are kind of more advanced topics that we can get into maybe in later in webinars. But for now, I'm going to save and quit, and that's our new interface. You can then, with this new Purple Mattress interface, install this interface on your page, and it will automatically be updated. Any updates made to this interface will be on your live interface. So once you install it, but right now, let's say that this modern design template is installed on our site. Just because I created this new interface doesn't mean that anything is going to change on my live site because I haven't installed this interface yet. So the second section is going to be interface templates. So this is choosing a layout within MetaLocator once you're logged in. When you're logged into MetaLocator, you'll initially be brought to the dashboard. This will show you traffic, leads, responses, etc. You're going to go to interfaces, and then just starting fresh, select new, and we'll get these layout options. I'm going to go ahead and select circle directory. So this is the no map type interface. And again, I'm going to toggle on sample data just to get a bunch of different data and pictures available to us. We can update colors just like in the last one. We can see the primary color is this pink. I'm going to change it to red. I'm going to change the secondary color to more of a dark maroon. It updates. We can see that like pinkish red and the maroon for the different buttons. Go ahead and save. Let's say I don't want category. We know from before I can remove this. So it works the same. Even though I started from a completely different interface, I can still have access to all these different settings. I'm going to go ahead and add keyword. So we can have a keyword search and a location search in the same search form. Keyword can also be moved to advanced settings. So this is going to add a little filters toggle. Once I open that, I'll be able to see that keyword here. So this is a good way if you have a bunch of different search options that you have and you kind of want to hide them away from the user for a bit, but still allow them to use it. Advanced search is good. We can also add placeholders. So right now it says keyword, but I want enter a keyword. So this is going to be like enter a zip code, and automatically it will say enter a keyword. All the settings that we saw before are the same here, so we can move these around, drag and drop. It doesn't have a map, but we still have the results, and you can still see details. So the details just goes over the entire results list now. You can change how many columns. You can make this in the layout. You can make this a 4-column, 5-column. Let's make it 2-column. So now there's only 2 results, etc. Tons of options again. You can look through them yourself and test them out, or you can reach out to support if there's a specific thing that you want, and we can point you in the right direction. And then lastly, but definitely not least, is if you want to try to use the upgrade button. So this is a really simple solution. The system will try to upgrade your legacy interface. This is not going to overwrite your interface. This will create a new interface that it attempted. So nothing on your site will change by clicking this button. It will simply try to create a new upgraded interface based on your existing settings. So I'm going to select upgrade. It's going to say upgrade success. And it's going to show me, it's going to title this interface the old name plus upgraded and the date that I chose to upgrade. We can see that a couple things have broken, and that may happen. And that may just be that it needs an icon. So let's use a paper plane. For detect location. So now we have an icon here to detect my location. I'm going to go ahead and change on sample data again, so we can see. So this is what it took my old interface and tried to update it into the new one. We can preview the old one by clicking preview. So this is what it used to look like, right? Features and products. And this is what it now looks like. So we can see that things have changed, and you're going to have to change some things around, but it tries its best to get the same colors, the same options. So this is like detect location, filters. So you can see that COE. And here we have the COE right here. So you still may have to tweak things between the legacy interface and what the system tried to assist you with, but at least you'll get all the same colors and things sent over. I may not have saved that last one. There we go. So this is a good option to kind of just start playing around in the interface. This is will work best if your data is structured in the way that MetaLocator likes to see data. And that can be seen under your data and import. You can always, when you do upload a CSV, go to sample files and download these sample files. It will show you the structure that we expect data to be in. There's also support articles on how to structure your data, how to import data, and what fields we require to make it look like this. You can also, in the results card, see the fields that are required. So you're going to want a title field, you're going to want the address field, state, city, etc. Phone numbers. If you don't have these, so if a location doesn't have a phone number, it's not going to show as a blank space in the interface builder. It will just simply move the other information up. So in this case, directions and the email would be right next to each other, and there would be no phone here. We can also add I'm going to show the list map toggle real quick. So that is a search form setting. And we can find list. Toggle map and directory. I'm going to add this under the category, but before, or actually I'm going to put it at the bottom. So this won't display on desktop because it's really a mobile setting. But once we get to mobile, we can see that it's automatically at show list, and we can only see the list of results. But I can toggle to show map, and we'll see the map. If you want to change the height of the map on mobile, it's going to be under layout settings, and then mobile map height. Let's make this 500. So now we have this kind of split view of list and map with a bigger map on mobile. So I can zoom in, I can click things on the map, or I can just search the result list by scrolling. So a couple good options for mobile layouts. Again, your settings are going to be based on what your legacy interface had. And so the last option is the upgrade tools. We just went over that upgrade button that will try its best to change the settings of your legacy locator into a new interface builder locator. You can compare two interfaces so we can see what settings were changed and the change settings report. So I'm going to compare this new interface with this old one. And we're going to go ahead and go into this ellipses menu in the upper right. And I'm going to compare interfaces. This can be a little hard to see in this small view, so you can also open it up in the new window. And this is all those settings. So this gets a little bit technical in what changed. You can see what has been deprecated. So this setting no longer exists. It can tell you why. It can say what it has been updated to. It looks like there's CSS differences between the two. But this can be a good thing to see if like the location, the search radius has changed. It's an easy way of saying there wasn't a map and now there is a map, or things like that, to see the differences between locators and update those settings accordingly. Other than that, it's really about playing around in the new interface builder and trying to create something that's going to work best for your business. We have the support articles under support.metalocator.com. We have the introduction to the interface builder. Getting started is a great way to start understanding the interface builder if you need kind of more of a walkthrough again. Filtering data. All of these I'm going to drop in chat right now if you want to go ahead and save some of these links, or feel free to search around our support articles for help. When you're in MetaLocator as well, you can see this bottom right icon. You can always chat with support, find support articles this way, and see what we can do for you. Support through chat or support@metalocator.com if you'd like to email us. You can tell us the interface name in the email, or the ID will help us to find your exact settings and point you in the right direction. Thank you so much for attending the webinar. We also, again, as Steven said, have a couple more coming up this year and are happy to support you in your upgrade process. And good luck.